Hi, and welcome to United Safety. You're gonna hate me for life. My name is GHAREEB. I'm the H2S Safety Supervisor here in Rig 10, Tauke 23. It's a DNO location, and you don't need a map to this place. Anyway, today I'm gonna tell you what you have to do before, during, and after an H2S drill. Okay? H2S drills, they're very easy, very simple, but if you don't know what you're doing, they can be very complicated. The company man will be yelling at you, the safety man will be like, okay, what do we do? So basically you need to know what to do, because if it comes down, if you really think about it, our job is emergency management, Yeah, it says H2S Safety Supervisor, but actually it's emergency management. How would you manage an emergency? You need to be confident, you need to know what the hell you're doing. Excuse my language, but you're going to hear a lot of this. Anyway, I have Mr. Farhang here holding the camera. I'm actually making this video for him, so, you're welcome.
Welcome.
Now, I have printed these two documents. I've written them, and I will summarize it to you guys. And, well, not summarize them. Actually, I'm going to add a lot of details to them. But I'm going to read them so you know exactly what to do. First of all, before the drill, what do you have to do? Before the drill, you should tell the crew in the safety meeting about the drill. Tell them. Some companies, they don't allow you to tell the crew. They want it to be a surprise, some companies. But DNO wants the crew to know about the drills. And of course, you'll have the H2S, please, you'll have the DQ10 whatever drill schedule. You have all kinds of drills, but basically the H2S drills, they happen at least 4 times a week. Alright? We have one on the 4th, 11th, 18th, and we will have one in 3 days, on the 25th, in 2 days. So you need to tell the crew and train them if they don't know anything about drills. Basically, we'll tell them what to do. Make sure that they go to an upwind muster point once they hear the alarm. Once they get there, I will tell you about that later. But right now, you need to know that you have to tell the crew. Okay? After that, in the safety meeting, you should tell the company man about the H2S drill. You should tell him and ask him if it's okay to do it, or maybe he wants to delay it. Do it some other time, or maybe do it early. Maybe the operation will not allow him. So basically, you need to tell him and ask him what time he thinks is best to do the drill. Mostly, they will want to do it right before the crew change, because they don't want to disturb people. They don't want to disturb the people that are sleeping. Okay, so you will do it around 5:30, maybe 6, or 6:30, or maybe even 7 when all shifts are here. There's a crew change, so they do it then. They want to see how people will react. Now, like I said, you need to train the crew, and tell them what to do. The rescue team especially, walk them through the location, just so they remember the routes. Team black, red, and blue. You're always blue. Tell the safety man about the drill. Tell him what time is going to happen. He should know. He has a schedule. Actually, he gives you the schedule, but tell him. He should have an idea of the drill and the time. Right before the drill happens, you should go to the company man and check with him again and ask him if it's still a good time to do the drill. All right? You should ask him. Maybe he told you in the safety meeting in the morning. He told you, yeah, you can do it at 5:30, but then something came up and now he doesn't want you to do the drill. So it's always best to check with him again and make sure that he can still do the drill. Now, you need to check your equipment and make sure that they work. Check your FMC 2000, your mesh guard, and your light bar. If you don't know what these things are until now, it means you still haven't gotten the training, and you will soon, in a few days. But you need to check them, make sure you have proper communication between the mesh guard and the FMC 2000. Normally, you'd have to go to the muster point and bump test one of the mesh guards. Again, don't worry about these terms if you don't know what they are. You'll have to bump test one of the mesh guards, so the signal would come to the FMC 2000 right here, and this will sound the alarm. Make sure when you do that, you be at an upwind or crosswind muster point. You don't want to be downwind, okay? So, if you have a problem with the mesh guard or whatever, the communication, you need to fix it before the drill. If you do find a problem that you cannot fix, you need to tell the company man that you cannot do the drill because of the communication problem, but it needs to be fixed really fast. Sometimes the FMC 2000 has a button here, and it's the first one from the red 6-pin cable. It's the first one from here. There is an orange button. If you press it, you will sound the alarm. Sometimes you don't even have to use the gas, but it's always good to use the gas. So you have a good signal. Anyway, this is a part where my night shift supervisor hates me. At this point, right before the drill, like 45 minutes or 1 hour, you need to wake up your night shift supervisor if you're working a day shift. Okay? You need to wake up your night shift supervisor and make sure he's ready. And some people would say, why do I need to wake up the night shift supervisor? Well, we need to preserve our company's image. Preserve the company image means that we need to keep our reputation good. If you sound the alarm and the night shift supervisor wakes up and he comes to the muster point in his shorts, that's very bad. You need to show good image, good quality, good service. That's us. That's United Safety. So make sure he's up, he's got his uniform, and he can actually help you in the drill. You can send him to the rig floor maybe. He can watch the people evacuate. If he sees any notes, because you don't have eyes in the back of your head, you need to check and make sure everything's good. So, so you send the night shift supervisor to the rig floor, mud tanks or whatever to see how are people evacuating, and then he would tell you, and we'll talk about this later. If the drill is in the night shift supervisor is in charge, and the day shift supervisor should only assist with his operation. Basically, this means that, we always know that the day shift supervisor has a lot more experience than the night shift supervisor, okay? So if the drill is in the night shift, I want you to let the night shift guy take charge, okay? He should take charge, and you evaluate his work and give him any notes after you're done, in the shack. Tell him next time do this, and that. Don't break his image in public. Don't tell him that he's done a bad job in front of people. Okay? Don't do that. So let him take charge and let him be, a good supervisor. Now, go to an upwind or crosswind muster point and bump test the mesh guard or the rig rat. If you have a rig rat, I am so sorry, man. Anyway, bump test the rig rat or the mesh guard, and the alarm will sound. Everybody will come to the muster point. Now we are done with the before the drill part. Now we'll talk about during the drill, like after the alarm sounds, what's going to happen. First thing that will happen is people will start coming to the muster point. So you'll have to watch. Here I say watch how people evacuate and take notes. Take notes on what? You'll have to take notes on people like, is there anybody running? Is there anybody smoking? Is there anybody that is still working, operating a vehicle or something, So if you are seeing things like that, keep them in your mind because you'll be doing it. You'll be talking about these notes in the briefing after everybody's gathered up. Anyway, stop the gas flow stop the gas flow so the mesh guard will not send the signal anymore. It should be like 30 seconds. So because we don't want to annoy people, we don't want to waste the air. It's good. People heard it. They're coming. That's it. That's all we want. So after you stop the air, you'll put your cal gas bottle in the safety man's room. It's usually at the muster point, so you put it there, and then you'll go and put on the SCBA. You are one team member of the rescue team. Okay. In fact, you're the team leader, so you need to be ready. After you put on your SCBA, you go and get your T card or badge or whatever. You bring it, and you come stand to the side. You stand on the side. At this time, the rescue team should be ready and packed up. Your job now is to make sure that they are really ready. Sometimes they forget. It doesn't matter how good they are in the training when they come here. You need to make sure that. Excuse me. Whew. You need to make sure that their secondary gauges are open. Okay, make sure that they are open, and this here is on the green side. They shouldn't have masks on at this time, so just make sure that they've opened the air and the gauge is full and they're ready. Okay, if you notice somebody that is in the drill or in the rescue team and he has beard, tell him to take it off and have somebody else put it on. They need to be clean shaven, and they should shave at least twice a day. I mean, excuse me, once every 2 days, not twice a day. At this time, go to the safety man. The safety man should have a list of all the people. He should have a list of all the people that are on here. It's called Daily Personnel Report, DPR, or it's called POB, Personnel on Board. It doesn't matter what it's called. Basically, it's a list of names. People, the safety man has it, and he will tell you who's here and who's not. If you are at the muster point, everybody will have their T cards, and they will check them out. All the T cards that are left on the board means that these people are not at the muster point, because if you're there, you'll pick up your T card. So if his T card is there, it means he didn't come to the muster point. Ooh, I'm sleepy. Excuse me. It means he didn't come to the muster point, and the first thing the safety man will do is pick up the T cards, or you will pick up the T cards and read their names. Their teammates or their colleagues from the same company, they will answer you. They will tell you that, oh, this guy is not here, he's sleeping. Okay. Well, this guy is not here, he left the location, he's at the camp. Okay. Now, if he leaves the location, he should take the T card with him. If he didn't take the T card with him, that's wrong. It's like, he's not following the safety rules. This is very important. You need to write down his name, and when you see him again, tell him that he should take his T card with him wherever he goes, and tell his supervisor right then and there that they should follow the safety rules, and this is unacceptable. Okay, this is a negative, and you'll make sure that you mention this in your daily operations report. Now, if the number is full, nobody's there, at this time you will go to the company man and tell him that it's a good drill, everybody's ready, and you just have a few notes. The company man, two things can happen here. The company man can tell you, okay, go ahead and tell the people. What did you see? Now you will tell them, we noticed some people running. You shouldn't run. We noticed some people doing this. You shouldn't do that. All the negative things. Ask your night shift supervisor. I don't know why I'm sleeping. Anyway, ask your night shift supervisor if he has any notes. He should tell you, and you will tell them, or he should, he can also tell the people, because this will be good practice for him. This is one thing. The other thing that can happen is that the company man can ask you, what did you see wrong? You would tell them that people were running, people are not here, people, you would tell them all the things. Some people are not shaven. So he will come out of the line, and he will start telling the people. This will be a more direct and even a better message if the company man tells them that you should follow the safety rules, and the safety man is, the company man is backing you up. This is a great sport, If the company man is backing you up, this is a great sport. So, now, let's say somebody is missing and you have agreed with the company man that you will go in and search for him. Okay? you will know where that person is. Let's say he's in the accommodation area, that's Team Blue. Okay, be with Team Blue and ask the company man if they can move, if you can move in. So you will move in. Team Red will go to the shell shakers, to the mud tanks mixing area, and come back to the cementing area and back to the muscle point. All right. Team Black will go from both sides of the BOP. You know, first one will check the BOP, then go to the SCR, come back on the meeting room. You know, check all these places. Team Blue will have the accommodation area and the office buildings. So you'll go and check it out. Bring the victim with you, and you know, the person that is pretending to be a victim, and bring him there. He will walk because he's probably sleeping or just waiting there for you guys to find him. You are not allowed to pick up any victim in any way that can cause him injury or pain. You do not do that. You shouldn't do that. There should be a dummy or a doll the company uses for man-down search. Never pick up a person from a place to another as if he was a victim. Okay, this is a very bad thing because if he fell from you, if you drop him, excuse me, if you drop him, he will be falling on his butt, and what's going to happen on his ass? What's going to happen is this: he can have a serious spinal injury. Okay, so that's two things that you don't want. One, this is a claim against your company, and two, this person is paralyzed for life, and you have to live with that. Okay, so don't do that, please. Anyway, now, of course, before you move in and before you move in and look for the victim, if this is a real drill, you have to do the hazard assessment. The hazard assessment for man-down search is you need to consider many things. Where is the victim? Does he have any injuries? Did anybody see him? Did anybody see him? Is there any hazards around him? How many victims do you have? What injuries do they have? Where are the victims? You need to think about that. Do they have any injuries? And you need to also ask yourselves, how many rescuers do you have? Okay, how many backup rescuers do I have? Are they all good? Are you good? Do you think you can get the victims out? This, like, if they're real victims, can you get them out without causing them any more pain or any more injuries? Ask yourself all that. Also, you will have a lot of things that are impaired. You cannot smell things, okay, because you'll be wearing the mask. You cannot taste things because you'll be wearing the mask. You cannot see that well because you're wearing the mask, and maybe there is a fog, maybe there's rain, maybe there's mud, maybe there's fire, maybe there's explosions, all these things. And you cannot hear well because there's a lot of machinery around you. Okay, so all these things you need to tell the rescue team before you move in. All right. Now let's say you went and you got them and came back. That's good. Bring the victim to the muscle point. The doctor will be there, and the doctor will do the medical aid, because the 7-step initial response strategy is evacuate, alarm, assess, protect, rescue, revive, and then medical aid. You just finished the rescue, so the revive will have to happen by the doctor. The doctor will perform CPR or whatever necessary first aid, or if there is no doctor there and you are trained on CPR, you are trained on first aid, you can do that if there is nobody else. Okay? Try not to give this responsibility on yourself, but if there is somebody else that is better than you, let them do that. Okay? After the revive, he will be sent to a medical facility or a nearby hospital. All right? That's with the victim. If there is a doctor and if there is not a doctor. What else? Okay, now this is done. After this, you say, thank you very much, blah, blah, blah. Thank you for coming. You say all your notes and you go. Wait. we have now after the drill, what will happen? The drill is over for everybody else, but you as a safety supervisor, you need to do these. If you did go in looking for a victim, you will be going, under mask. Of course, and I forgot to say this, before you move in, you will have to connect the regulator, put the mask on, connect the regulator, and perform the positive and negative check, make sure you have no leaks. Go in, and when you come out, you will have used some of your air, if not most of it, or half of it. So after the drill, you need to ask kindly ask the rescue team if they can bring the SCBAs to the shack. Shack is the United Safety Container. Okay, so ask them if they can please bring it here. When they do bring it, when they do bring them, they will bring them and put them everywhere here. So you and your night shift guy or you and your day shift guy will have to refill them as fast as possible and get them back to the muster point as soon as possible. See what I did there? You need to fill them up as fast as possible, but get them to the muster point as soon as possible. You ask what's the difference between the two? Well, if I say get to the muster point as fast as possible, it means you will run as fast as you can. But if I say as soon as possible, you will get there when you get there. You need to do it safely. You cannot run. Okay, that's the difference. So you get it. Anyway, you need to refill all the cylinders, all the SCBAs, fill them up. You need to clean your masks, clean them, change the bags, and take them one by one. Of course, you'll have to wear. Don't pick up 2 SCBA. No, you will wear the SCBA and take it there. You'll do it right. You'll do it correctly. You're United Safety. You're trained good, so that's how you'll do it. So take it back, put it in the pack. Put it in the case. After that, you'll extend the harnesses again, extend all the straps, and put it back as if it's never been used. Okay, make sure it's ready to be used. Put it there, pack it, put the bag there, close it, and that's good. Sometimes I think it's a good idea to leave the blue cleaning tissue inside the SCBA, because when you use the SCBA, it will be, most likely it will be either very hot or very cold out there, and people are either sweating or there's rain, and they're wet. So this will be very good to, clean their faces and put on the mask before they put on the mask. So now you finish this, you take them there. That's good. Readjust the straps. So if you did not go in, to rescue anybody, this means they only put the rescue team only put the SCBA on and no mask. So what you'll do now is just kindly ask them to take them off and leave them in the case. After they leave them in the case, sorry about that. After they leave them in the case, tell them thank you very much. You can leave now. You will readjust the straps, put the masks back in their places, repack the BA sets, and now you're done with the drill. Everything's good. You close it. Make sure they're all inspected. You will come back here if it's time for you to do the reports. You will come back here and write down everything good and bad that you saw in the operation report section. Or if it's not time for your reports, you can still do it, or you can make a note on the whiteboard. Make sure the notes are clear to you and to the other supervisor, so he can write them if you're not here. Let's say, God forbid, if you're injured, so he knows what to do. He knows how to write. Okay. This was me, GHAREEB, the H2S Safety Supervisor for United Safety. I hope you found this video useful, and if you didn't, well then it's your problem. Bye.